West Track Story 9 here in Nantes, France. We are now on game 8, believe it or not, of the 2-day tournament. I'm Dork Mistress.
And I'm Gambit.
And we're going to be taking you through the next game, which is London Roller Derby versus Bear City Roller Derby. If you've been watching the games or catching up, you know that we've got 5 of the top European teams here, and they are all playing each other. So each team is playing 4 games. Bear City played earlier this morning against Dock City. Dock City taking the win. London took 2 wins yesterday. So there are awards for the teams at the end of the day. And after game 6, the current standings are London are in the lead, Dock are second, Nantes third, Helsinki 4th and Bear 5th. However, Nantes just beat Helsinki. So with the number of games, I think that means they go into second place. So London are going to be looking to secure their continued top place. This is also for rankings. All of these games are WFTDA sanctioned and will count for rankings. And the current published rankings are from March 2020, so are significantly out of date. So points mean prizes and rankings. So it's going to be a big game, and you've got the roster there, Gambit.
I've got the roosters. So I will start with Bear City. Bear City on the roster today on this game: 1-1-1-1 Maya Mangalu, 1-1-4 Freddie Mercury, 1-3-3-7 Freudenslit, 1-8-5-8 Minnesota Nice, 2-1 Bambikel, 2-4-7 Bonetzi, 2-5 Mea Missile, 2-5-4 Scarotena, 3-1-3 Misgender, 3-7-9 Roofless, 5-3 Rookie Horror, 5-5-9 Blocked Hertha, 6-6-6 Hannah Satana, 7-7 Gigi, 8-3 Mira Image.
And for London Roller Derby today, we have 004 Swan, 020 Sable, 08 Party Pants, 12 Boswell, 1236 Madge, 1393 Texas Heat, 18 Ellis, 237 Camo Rat Attack, 27 Alley Cat, 31 Valks, 4 Delta Strike, 474 Wolf, 6 Ramit, 7 Kristen Lee, and 999 Oblivion Newton John. As we have done with other games, we will be broadcasting this game in both English and German. So we'll do 1 jam in English and then 1 jam in German. So all of our audience across Europe can hopefully keep up with what's going on. So whistle has gone. That's the first whistle for the game. And on the jam line, we have Delta Strike for London and Blocked Hertha for Bear City. Delta Strike out in pink with lead. But Blocked Hertha able to spin around the inside, but it was out, so they're recycling. Delta Strike in the pack for points. But Bear City picking up the first penalty of the game. Delta Strike completing that 4-point pass. And Blocked Hertha looking for the star pass. But I'm not sure the pivot's able to do that because they are lining up for Delta Strike. So Bear City holding back Delta Strike, but it's Ramit giving offense. And that forces the jam to be called off, but it's Bear City also picking up a low block at the end of that jam. 4 points, 8 points for London, so Delta Strike did get through for the full 4.
A nice start in the game. Und wir werden dann gleich Jam Nummer 2 sehen. Und ich sehe gerade noch nicht, hier. 18 ist Ellis für London gegen Maya Mangalu für Berlin. Und beide Jammerinnen sind gerade im Pack. Ellis ist gerade rausgekommen, hat Lead bekommen. Und Maya Mangalu ist immer noch im Pack und versucht den Initial Pass zu schaffen. Es sind jetzt die 4 erste Punkte für Ellis, also für London. Und hier können wir sehen, dass die Jammerin hat die Haube für die Sterne an das Pivot und versucht dann einen Starpass zu machen. Und Starpass hat funktioniert. Das Jam wurde aber gecallt. Es sind wieder 8 Punkte für London in dieses Jam gegen keins für Bear City. Und das bringt uns zu 16 Punkte vs 0 Punkte.
So London picking up 8 points in that last jam. with Maya Mangalu doing 2 jams in a row, which is hard work against walls as strong as London's, but unable to pick up any points for Bear City to date. So we have Sable on the jam line against Skaratina. Skaratina picking up most of Bear City's points in the last game that they had against Dock City this morning. But
And
Sable
lead.
out for lead. Skaratina in the pack, being pushed out, and actually their helmet has come off, so they're just taking themselves off track to make sure that they're safe. But that's how strong the gameplay is. So that's why they're hesitating. They're making sure that everything is safe before they get back on, and trying to keep that outside. But the waterfall of London blockers, but unfortunately that was a cut track penalty. So London have called the jam because they want to start with a power start. So 8 points for London in that jam takes them to 24. Bear City yet to get off the board.
Und wir werden jetzt sehen, also Wolf wird für London jammen. Und also wie gerade eben gesagt, es sitzt gerade die Jammerin für Berlin in der Penalty Box. Und Lead sehr, sehr schnell, in weniger als 3 Sekunden hat Wolf das Lead bekommen. Es sind auch aktuell nur 3 BlockerInnen für Berlin auf dem Track. Und es wurde auch eine Blockerin für London ins Box geschickt. Die Jammerin für Berlin steht jetzt und kommt wieder ins Pack, wird versuchen, das Initial Pass zu machen. Beide Jammerinnen kämpfen ganz dolle durch den Tripod. Und es sind dann 4 Punkte für London, also wieder 8 Punkte. Und die Jammerin für Berlin hat es auch geschafft, aus dem Pack rauszukommen und kann leider keine Punkte sammeln, weil das Jam wurde gecallt kurz davor, dass sie wieder ins Pack kommen konnte.
So 8 points for London in that last jam. Wolf on the jam line for the first time. Bear City just not able to hold the jammers back at this stage, but you know, we've seen how Bear City in particular have adapted their game, you know, after a few jams. So they're still on 0, London on 32, and we've had the first 5 minutes of this game. On the jam line we have Delta Strike up against Misgender, and it's Delta Strike through as lead for London. Misgender took the helmet cover off but was able to get through, so, and I think that's the quickest we've seen a Bear City jammer get out of the pack.
Yeah.
Delta Strike cannot call off the jam because they've picked up a penalty, so this is now a power jam to Bear City, and also is going to be a full 2 minutes jam. So huge opportunity for Bear City to change the game up. Misgender gets out, completing their first scoring pass.
And the first points for Berlin on this game.
Yes, so if you can hear the crowd, it's not the crowd, we are right next to the Bear City bench, and they were thrilled with those 4 points. And that's 8 points now for Bear City.
And the jammer on London side is coming back into the track.
Delta Strike is out of the box, back on track, but that's the 3rd scoring pass for Bear City complete. Delta is now out and also completing their first scoring pass, but you know, we still have 45 seconds of this jam. So it's, Misgender thought there was a hole on the inside, but that was, I believe, Valks with a huge hit. Legal, but huge. Meanwhile, Delta Strike completes 2nd scoring pass. So Misgender is on 4th scoring pass. Delta Strike is on 3rd scoring pass as they are in the pack, but Delta out completing that. So Misgender now stuck behind that defense from London. And Delta Strike has now overtaken Misgender in terms of points scored.
And the defense for Berlin was so focused on doing offense that they just in time saw that the jammer was coming and could catch them up.
Yeah.
It was close.
So just looking at the final point score, and it is... Ooh. Actually, they tied each other on points.
15.
15 points all, so they neither completed that final scoring pass. That was me being a little premature. So 15 points each takes Bear City to 15, London to 47.
Und jetzt spielen Oblivion Newton-John für London und Misgender ist gerade in der Penalty Box. Also das war wieder ein Powerstart und Lead wurde sehr, sehr schnell von Oblivion Newton-John genommen. Sie kämpft gerade in der Tripod von Berlin. Und es wird dann wieder ein Power Jam sein, da das Jam so schnell gecallt war, dass die Person für Berlin nicht mehr aus der Penalty raus konnte.
So we will be starting on a power jam for London. That's why that was quite a short jam, only 4 points, even though Oblivion Newton-John was out. They wanted the power start. So 4 points for London in that last jam, taking them to 51. So
and everybody is laying on the floor and getting up very quick. I was currently talking with a friend on the audience, and we were saying that when the player fall on the ground, they just go up so fast. That's really impressive.
Yes, because I will not be able to stand up that quickly, even if I wasn't on skates. Sable lead jammer for London, now coming round for their second scoring pass. Bear City have passed the star. It is now Bonuzzi who is their jammer. Sable taking some huge hits, but calls the end of the jam just as they see Bonuzzi getting to the pack.
As you can see, sometimes they clap the hands up, they high five the other team when they do a nice action.
And that's 4 sneaky points for Bear City. Just waiting. The jam ref hand. Oh no, that's pink. Sorry, apologies. That's London.
For London.
Because it's red and Bear City are red, but they're playing in white, and my brain hasn't quite worked that out.
Jetzt spielen Ellis gegen Ruthless. Und es gab ganz am Anfang jemanden in der Penalty-Box und diese Person ist sehr, sehr schnell raus aus der Penalty-Box gekommen. Das heißt, alle SpielerInnen sind gerade auf dem Track für beide Teams. Und die jammende Person für Berlin ist gerade in der Penalty-Box schicken worden. Und Lead wurde auch gepfiffen für Ellis. Wir werden jetzt sehen, also ja, 2 BlockerInnen für Berlin gegen 4 für der London-Seite. Und es ist wieder gecallt, dass die jammende Person für Berlin immer noch in der Penalty-Box startet. Das wird dann das 3. Jam seit Anfang dieses Spiels, in dem Bear City startet im Gegen-Power Jam.
So that is 4 points for London, but we are again with a London power start. Bear City's jammer yet again in the penalty box. There's been quite a number of jammer penalties this early in the game. So on the jam line we have Delta Strike, who will be up against Ruthless, but Delta Strike is out for lead because there are only 1 Bear City blocker on the track. So positional blocking is when there's 3 of you and only 1 Bear City blocker, that's a little bit easy. But the penalty box is emptying, so Bear City back on track. Delta Strike now completed 2 scoring passes. And Ruthless is out of the penalty box and completes their initial pass. So Delta Strike brushing off that big hit from Bonuzzi, but picked up a penalty. So that is a backport penalty for Delta Strike, and this is now a power jam and a 2-minute jam for with Bear City in the power jam.
And 4 points were scored for Berlin.
First scoring pass for Bear City completed, and Ruthless now coming round for the second. This is the first time I've seen Ruthless jam in the 2 games that I've seen this weekend. And having to speed the pack up to hold back the jammer It's just showing the speed and strength that Ruthless is bringing on the track. Just ram it up ahead. Valks. But Ruthless is out. However, Delta Strike is back on track. So we have 35 seconds left in this jam. Both jammers are on scoring passes. Delta taking a whip to the outside, but a lovely little tap from Mia Missile knocks out and recycles all the length of the straightaway. However, Ruthless also being hit out, and London getting a blocker in the box. So Bear City with pack advantage. And we've got Delta Strike pushing out up front against a wall of 2. Trying to push number 666, Hannah Santana, out of play. And does that, but just as the jam comes to an end. So, just waiting for the final points to be added to the scoreboard. London 12 for that jam, Bear City 11, taking London to 75. Bear City now on 26. Puh,
Und wir gehen jetzt schon in Jam Nummer 10, also es sind fast 15 Minuten bereits durch und wir haben gerade eine Official Timeout. Das ist bestimmt a quick official timeout.
So while we are in the timeout, and it was a quick one. So
it was.
We will go back to the game.
Genau, und dann blockt Hertha für Berlin gegen, ich sehe das noch nicht, aber das wird gerade so gleich gezeigt, gegen Wolf für London. Wolf, der sehr, sehr schnell auf den Park rauskommt, aber Hertha folgt ganz, ganz nah. Und wir werden schauen, ob Punkte gesammelt werden können. Und es sind 3 Punkte für London und keine Punkte für Berlin in dieser Jam.
So we are in a timeout now called by Berlin, with neither teams picking up points in that last jam, just because of the speed of Bear City's jam is coming out, forcing the call off. So while we're here, so I was talking to Oblivion Newton-John earlier, and we believe that their mum is watching and enjoying our stream. So
really
thank you very much.
nice.
Hope you've liked and subscribed Oblivion Newton-John's mum, or I'll be very sad, and we don't want that. So a quick look at the penalties. Bearing in mind we've only had 14 minutes of the game, that's quite a spread of penalties, and I just think it shows the passion and the strength that both teams are bringing to that game. I mean, Party Pants will help me, has had penalty troubles. Also Valks, but Valks currently penalty free, so is playing a really clean game. And looking now at Bear City, much more evenly spread out, but that's still almost every player has received a penalty in the first 14 minutes.
But there is not so much penalties on Berlin side that in London. It was almost equivalent, like 1 or 2 penalties difference only.
So everybody's getting lined up. That's the go whistle. Sable versus Freudian Slit, and it's Sable out for lead. Freudian Slit hit out and recycled. Also tried to go for Sable, but Sable was too quick. And you look at how low Freudian Slit is getting to try and dislodge this London wall at the back, but the the Bear City wall up front is just really impressive in how agile it is and how it's covering the whole track, but still not able to keep Sable back.
And 4 points more for London Roller Derby.
So that was one scoring pass for London, yes, taking them to 82 points. Bear City now on 26, and we are halfway through this first half.
Und wir werden dann in Jam Nummer 12 kommen. 5 Sekunden wurden gerufen und es werden jetzt auf dem Track für Punkte kämpfen Oblivion Newton-John gegen Skarotina. Und Oblivion Newton-John hat gerade Lead bekommen, ganz, ganz schnell. Skarotina folgt aber auch. Und Oblivion Newton-John geht wieder und holt, bevor Skarotina Punkte sammeln kann. Die klatschen aber ganz schön miteinander, weil die das geschafft haben, die Person sehr schnell aus dem Park rauszubekommen, also mit einer sehr schönen Offense.
So 4 points for London, but Bear City are getting their jammers out much quicker now, I think, than we saw in the first few jams, and that's meaning that they're only getting 1 or 2 scoring passes, whereas before it was 4 or 5.
Ja.
So we have Delta Strike on the jam line against Maya Mangalyu. So Delta Strike, and again you can see this, Bear City are holding back Delta Strike. I think the longest that they've been held back and have lead.
Yeah.
I think this is the first lead that Bear City have had.
I think there was one, but then the person was sent to the penalty.
Yes.
It was called after that Maya Mangalyu could score. They couldn't score because they were sent to the penalty box.
Yes, so she couldn't call off the jam even though they were trying because they were sent to the penalty box. So that is now a 2-minute jam. Delta Strike on scoring passes. This is second scoring pass for Delta Strike. And London trying to hold back. One of the Bear City blockers, they don't want the pack to move, but they were taking each Bear City blocker apart, person by person. But it is proving, Bear City are much more switched on than they were at the start of the jam because Delta is having more trouble because Delta was just skating around initially. But Maya Mangalyu is also back on track. And that's a solid wall of 3 for Delta to face. And it's 2 for Maya Mangalyu up front for London blockers. 1, the bridge has had to let them go. So that is first scoring pass for Maya. And Delta's still on that third scoring pass. So they've actually held Delta Strike back now for a good 30 seconds, which we haven't seen at all in this game. Maya Mangalyu also pushing out up front, but is about to be recycled by Party Pants, who excels at that. But Maya's out.
Can score 4 extra points.
Yes, so Maya Mangalyu completes 2 scoring passes. Yes, and
3 scoring passes for
Delta
London.
Strike did complete the third, but was still in the pack. I think both jammers found that tough. So 98-34 in the game, 12 minutes left.
Und wieder blockt Hertha auf der Jammerline. Und wir haben 4 BlockerInnen für beide Seiten auf dem Track. Und für London spielt Ellis als Jammer in dieser Jam. Und hat gerade Lead bekommen, aber Hertha ist auch sehr, sehr schnell hinterher. Und also, wie wir das gerade eben gesagt haben, es war früher schwieriger für Berlin aus dem Park rauszukommen. Das funktioniert aber jetzt besser und es sind 4 Punkte für beide Seiten fast gleichzeitig. Und beide JammerInnen werden jetzt versuchen, wieder Punkte zu sammeln. Und wir werden sehen, wie viele Punkte gesammelt wurden. Also 1 Punkt für Berlin und 2 Punkte dazu für London. Und das sind dann 6 Punkte für... andersrum, sorry. 2 Punkte für Berlin und 1 Punkt für London. Und genau, also 6-5 in dieser Jam. Und wir sind jetzt bei 103 für London und 40 Punkte für Bear City.
So Bear City picking up more points in that last jam, 6-5 with that late call off by London. And it is Sable who is lead jammer for London, and we have Ruthless on the jam line for Bear City. So Sable now scoring points, and great offense from Madge breaking up that wall. So Sable has just 1 Bear City blocker now out, completes that scoring pass. And we have also a star pass, so Ruthless has now passed the starter Mia Missile, who is trying on the inside, but is consistently being hit out to the inside and recycled. And the jam comes to an end. London have picked up 8 points, and I think, again, they have another game this afternoon. So I think there may be a bit of energy conservation going in. They are, 71 points ahead at this point. And so they're just thinking, yes, I could go through again, but actually, I can just call it here. So 8 points for London in that jam, taking them to 111. Bear City on 40.
Und jetzt sind auf der Jammerline Miss Gender für Berlin und Wolf für London. Wolf, wie sehr schnell auf den Park rausgeht. Und wir sehen, dass Miss Gender hat die Haube rausgezogen und wird keine Möglichkeit haben, Stoppers zu machen, da ein Pivot gerade in der Penalty Box sitzt. Und es sind gerade 2 BlockerInnen in der Penalty Box für Berlin und wir können sehen, dass die Person, die da in der Penalty Box steht, zeigt, wie viele Sekunden die noch im Box verbringen soll.
So 4 points for London in that last jam. So taking them to 115. And we've got Delta Strike on the jam line up against Freudian Slit. As Delta Strike pushing out front. Bear City have only got 2 blockers on track, but it still took 12 seconds for Delta Strike to get out. I think the blockers are really understanding how to start trying to hold back these London jammers. Freudian Slit pushing out up front, just 2 London blockers ahead. But we have a blocker each going to the penalty box. So neither
really
team...
nice offense from, I think it's 247 Bonetzi,
yes.
the pivot.
So Delta Strike, though, makes it out, completes scoring pass, but Freudian Slit is also out. So Delta waiting to decide when to cancel it, calls the jam just as Freudian Slit gets to the pack. I think there's a bit of clock management going on there as well, trying to get blockers out of the penalty box. So 4 points for London, takes them to 119.
Und wir werden jetzt ein neuer Jam starten. Das wird Jam Nummer 18. Und sind auf der Jammerline die Nummer... Also Nummern habe ich nicht, aber Namen. Oblivion Newton-John und Scarotina. Also 999 für London, die das Initial Pass sehr, sehr schnell erledigt hat und dann 4 Punkte gesammelt hat und sofort gecallt. Das ist jetzt einfach die Punkte machen und callen. Genau. Strategie wechseln vielleicht.
So London again with the 4 points and the call-off. I think that's, it's again just showing how Bear City are changing their game and they're forcing London to work harder for each scoring pass. So on the jam line we have Sable versus Maya Mangalyu. And it's Sable out for lead. Maya, just 1 blocker up front, is also out. About half a lap behind. Sable now approaching to start scoring points and calls the jam. Just having a look to see how many referees are conferring to make sure they capture all the points for London. And it's 2 points. So that will take them to 125 points, 40 for Bear City. 6 minutes left in this game.
Und Jam 20, es sind nur 5, also ein bisschen mehr als 5 Minuten in dieser ersten Halbzeit zu spielen. Und Hertha nimmt sehr, sehr schnell das Lead. Das Publikum ist on fire. Und Elis folgt aber ziemlich schnell hinterher. Wir werden jetzt schauen, wie viele Punkte Hertha schafft. Und das Bench hat gesagt, weiterzugehen. Hertha hat aber gecallt. Und wir sehen, dass Hertha, ich sehe nicht, ob es 2 oder 3 Punkte sind. Ich glaube 2 Punkte für beide Teams.
So 2 points for each of the skaters in that jam. So I think just trying to get that call-off timing right could be tricky. And I think it was a big hit.
It was
a big hit. So Delta Strike up against Ruthless. Delta Strike finds that gap on the outside, but great capture by the Bear City blockers, and that did hold her up. So it is Ruthless now still in the pack. Delta approaching on scoring pass, and it's again this wall of three from from Bear City is really starting to nail down Delta strike. However, they have picked up a penalty, so Delta facing two blockers up front. Ruthless still at the back, getting some offense from Bonesi and trying for the star pass, but Bonesi has skated off.
It was a real nice battle between the jumper from London and the two blockers who are front, the 25 and the 666, who were really holding up.
Yes.
Real nice.
So that was Hannah Santana and 247.
Mia Missil.
Mia Missa.
25.
Yeah, it was wonderful watching that. And it just shows how they've altered their game, because Delta Strike was just skating through at the start of this game. So, 4 points for London in that jam.
Und jetzt haben wir Wolf gegen Misgender und Wolf ist sehr schnell wieder auf den Park rausgekommen. Misgender ist aber nicht so weit weg hinterher und es sind eine Person in der Penalty-Box für jeder Team. Und es wurde gecallt, 2 Punkte für London, keine Punkte für Berlin.
So fantastic work by Miss Gender from Bear City. So quick back to the pack after their initial pass that forced the call off by London with only 2 points gained, taking them to 133. Bear City now on 42, and it's 2 minutes 50 left in this game. In this half, sorry. We have Sable with Freudian slit on the jam line. Sable out front and has been awarded lead. Ruthless looking for the star pass and has succeeded. Star pass being given to Mia Missile. London picking up a cut track penalty for one of their blockers. Mia Missile now out completing their initial pass, and it's Sable in the pack. Still on their first scoring pass. So London picking up the 4 points, but Bear City
is calling an official review. So we will see what happened. So Dog Mistress is running on its side to be able to find out what was this official review about. In the meantime, I will remind you to hit like and subscribe. And if you have the funds for it, not put a real nice organization for this live stream who costed a bit of money. So if you want to help a little bit, you can go onto the Facebook page of the event and you will find a post with a link for a little donation that you can do to help not on this organization. We can also look quickly at the penalty. There is quite a few penalties in London, but maximum 3 penalties for it's Hempme, who's got 3 penalties, and on the side of Berlin there is a little bit more penalties. Almost every player had penalties. Just Freudenslit, Blockt Hertha, Gigi und Mira Image haben keine Penalties gemacht. Well done. Und wir sehen jetzt die Punkte, also wir sehen, dass bei jeder Jam schafft London Punkte zu sammeln, also von 2 bis 15 Punkten. Und bei Berlin sind weniger Punkte, also weniger Jams mit Punkte, aber wenn Berlin Punkte sammelt, dann sind es ziemlich viele Punkte. Also 15, 11, 8, 6, genau. Also wir sind das, we can say that London is trying to just score as many points as possible, little by little. And we will now be able to know what was this official review about and if it was won or not.
So Bear City wanted a low block penalty assessed on the London Jammer for an incident out on the outside line. The call was reviewed and the no call stands. So Bear have lost their official review and nothing changes.
But it's a good thing to try an official review just before the halftime, because you can have one official review. If you lost it, you're not allowed to take any more. But if you lose it directly in the beginning of the halftime, then it might be for the strategy a bit difficult. If you lose it, you cannot ask for another one. But right now, it's the perfect time to ask for one, because it's only 2 minutes till the halftime.
I think the other thing to remember is, particularly where it happened, the bench manager may have a different view to the officials. And so the officials have only got the view that they've got. If the bench manager has a different view and believes there's a penalty, they have the right to call for an official review, but the officials might not have had the same view. So, it could have been a belief that had happened, but the officials didn't see it. So unfortunately, it did. The call was not made. So we're just still in an official timeout.
I'm not sure why there is no official timeout.
But the London Jammer is now in the box.
Oh. So maybe
that
the official review worked, or maybe not.
Or maybe something else has happened.
Yeah, maybe it happens sometimes during an official review that the officials say, no, we didn't see this penalty that you're talking about, but we actually saw another one, and then they assess the penalty to the player concerned.
Yes. So, because this happened during the official timeout, not the official review. So, anyway, unfortunately, we don't have the full knowledge of what's going on, but we will be hopefully getting underway shortly, because we have just 2 minutes before halftime. So, a chance to remind people that Derby Livestream, who are putting the stream on for us all weekend, and this is a free-to-air stream. If you are able to donate any money towards the cost of the stream, please go to the West Track Story 9 Facebook event. There is a donate link there, because this is not cheap. And, the quality of the imagery and the overlays and the information that the team have put together is absolutely wonderful. And this is the standard we'd like to see in roller derby tournaments. So please support us, and please support Derby Livestream by liking and subscribing, because that really matters when it comes to talking to YouTube about how wonderful roller derby is. So please do those if you want to see this kind of stream and content, available on the internet for us to. But as you can see, there's lots of people here.
And the public, yeah.
Yeah. But obviously not everybody can make it to Nantes. So live streams are super important. So yeah, subscribe, or I might cry. Nobody wants to make me cry.
No, we don't want that.
So Berlin are creating some noise. Earlier during the official review, London were doing a chant for their bench manager, which I thought was adorable.
Berlin is just sitting ahead of us here, and I have the feeling that the atmosphere on the bank is really real nice, and everybody is smiling, cheering up. When someone comes back from the track, they just applaud, they high-five each other. It's a real nice atmosphere on this bench. And as Hertha said earlier, as we interviewed her, they had the idea for this weekend to really build this team together and to get to know each other on the track and to build a stronger team, because it's quite a new team. Yes. With many new players in this travel team from Berlin, and we can see that the atmosphere is working fantastically.
So while we're here in this official timeout, it's a time to name the officials who are putting this amazing game on and have come all this way. So in the skating officials, we have Victoria Velociraptor, Jean-Claude Gransram, Baff, Lise, Taro, Couette, Homo You Didn't, and Trick Track. And our non-skating officials are Bitch, Eagle Eye Mary, Charlie Chaperon, Blind Io, Migmag Tigris, Voltali, Chaton Mignon.
Oh,
apologies for mangling that. Alex, Juligan and Patayoshuet.
Patachwit.
Yes. So we don't have pronunciation guides, I'm afraid. So apologies for the horrendous attempt that I've just made at all of those names.
And you can see that also in the penalty box, the players from both teams are also bonding. It's really sweet to see.
So both these teams, prior to COVID, were travelled to Atlanta in 2018 for WFTDA playoffs. So, and they were the only European representatives there. So, they know each other well, the sort of more existing, longer standing skaters.
But there are a lot of people who changed, so...
Yeah. And London had the same thing. I mean, London's development in the last 12 months has been something phenomenal. They came back from COVID and played the Five Nations Back on Track tournament in the UK and lost to Rainy City. But since then, have built on that and beat Rainy City recently, sort of not long after. It's been really amazing to watch how they developed, and they were really strong at Anarchy as well. So, official timeout is over. Oh no, we're back in official timeout.
Another one. Is it going to be quick? Is it going to be not quick?
I think it's just making sure all the officials are in the right place.
Yeah.
That's important because there's been so much going around to make sure everything's right. We've now got to make sure everyone's in the right place.
Yeah.
So, no, I think that might be continuing. Yes, so...
In the meantime, you can tell us in the chat, where are you looking this live stream from?
And make sure that you like and subscribe. And I'm going to keep saying that until everybody has liked and subscribed.
We have currently 717 viewers.
Views, yes. And not 1,700, not 717 likes. Come on. This is a situation now. Only 15 likes.
Und wir haben jetzt einen Powerstart für Berlin, da die Sable in der Penalty Box ist, wegen dem Backblock. Und Karotina ist jetzt durch und wird versuchen, dann Punkte für den Team zu sammeln. Wir haben das oft gesehen, dass Karotina als Karotina Lead hat und in Power Jump ist. Karotina schafft ganz oft viele Punkte zu sammeln. Wir sehen, ob das dieses Mal auch wieder so ist. Karotina ist ja wieder aus dem Track raus, aber gleichzeitig ist die German Person für London aus dem Track rausgekommen, also aus dem Penalty Box und aus dem Pack raus. Sehr, sehr schnell, hat Initial Pass geschafft. Und Karotina geht weiter und versucht dann noch mehr Punkte für Berlin einzusammeln. Und es wurde gerade gecallt. Und 2 Punkte wurden da gesammelt für Berlin. Und kein extra Punkte in dieser letzten Jump, in dieser letzten Scoring Pass für London. Und es sind dann 4 Punkte in dieser letzten Jump für London und 6 für Berlin. And in the meantime, an official review was called by London, so we will see what it is about. Maybe you have some ideas, maybe you have seen something on the screen and you can try to guess what was this official review about, and then we will see if you have the eye of the London bench. You can also, if you are here in Nantes, or if you want to come for the next game, for example, or you are stuck in traffic coming to the venue, you can come quick, and then there is a nice catering, a nice buffet where you can buy some food and some drinks to enjoy your time here in the gym. And I see that Dog Mistress is coming back from the inside field, and we will now be able to to see if you guess correctly, if some people guesses, what was this official review about?
So London wanted a forearms penalty on their player Madge rescinded, and the call will stand. I did also find out the long break was due to the fact the scoreboard broke, and that was why there was a long official timeout.
Yeah, sometimes the technique just crashes. We don't know why.
Yes. So Maya Mangalu, is a lead jammer for Bear City and out, but so also is Ellis from London.
And we can see here that some people told us where they're from. We have people watching from their couch. That's a real nice place to watch a game. We have also people from Portsmouth in the UK and Namur in Belgium.
Lovely Namur, home of the fabulous skate-around tournament, usually held towards the end of the year. Kind of hoping there's going to be one. So Ellis now on third scoring pass. Maya Mangalu is in the penalty box but standing. So this power jam to London. You know, again, see Bear City's defence with that hit out did soak up a few seconds that has let Maya Mangalu back on track and in the pack.
And the pack is going back on the track to recycle the jammers. And
also because you want to make it as difficult as possible for the jammers coming back on track out to the box. But Maya pushing out up front, and you've got Ellis pushing at the back,
forcing London to make a bridge, and 4 points on both sides on this scoring pass.
I mean, this will be a full length jam, so 13 seconds to go, both teams scoring points. And it's whether we'll get one or two more scoring passes. Ellis now out, but Maya Mangalu still in the pack. And that jam comes to an end, and that is the end of the first half.
And so 4 more points.
So that's 16 points for London in that last jam, and 4 for Bear City, taking them to 157 points, playing 52. And, you know, I think we all knew that London were going to come into this game strong, but what's really impressed me is how Bear City have changed their game and stepped up during that first half to make it more difficult for London.
And there's just 101 point difference between both scores, both teams. We will see what's gonna happen in the next halftime.
And welcome back to Game 8 of West Track Story 9 in Nantes in France. I'm Dork Mistress.
And I'm Gombet.
And we're taking you through London versus Bear City as part of this round-robin West Track Story tournament. We've had the first period. London are on 157 points, Bear City on 56 points. Very much been London's game, but in the second half, Bear City have been able to really make London work harder for those points. And we asked where you're watching from. We've got somebody watching from New Zealand.
Hi.
Antwerp in Belgium. A lot of people in the UK, as you'd expect on a London game, Sunderland and London. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because that really helps us raise the profile of the channel. We're back underway, and it is blocked Hertha for Bear City, who is on the jam line against Delta Strike. Delta Strike pushing out up front against a wall of Bear City blockers, but lead jammer. And Hertha pushing out up front now, while Delta Strike is approaching the back of the pack to score points. Delta having to push behind that rapidly moving Bear City wall, but is able to hop over their own blockers and complete that scoring pass. Hertha now looking for the star pass. Fortunately, the pivot unable to do that, but does get them out, and they now completed their initial. Delta Strike sees the danger, calls that jam, but does pick up 2 points in that second scoring pass, taking them to 6.
Und für das zweite Jam in der zweiten Periode haben wir alle BlockerInnen von beider Seite auf dem Track und 2 JammerInnen. Und zwar Wolf für London Roller Derby und Ruthless für Bear City Roller Derby. And Wolf is already out of the pack. Lead jumper Ruthless is following. Und es wurden gerade 2 Punkte für London Roller Derby gesammelt. Und wir werden jetzt direkt in Jump 3 reinkommen.
So London picking up 2 points in that last jam, taking them to 165. But again, Bear forcing that call off. Sable on the jam line up against Miss Gender. Sable out first. Miss Gender facing. There's 3 London blockers on track. And it's Party Pants working with Madge and Ramit up front to try and hold back. But Sable skates around the outside, completing a scoring pass. Miss Gender still behind that tough wall of 3 from London. Sable now coming through for second scoring pass. And gets some offense, gets through, calls the jam. So that's just having a look on the points. 7 points for London in that last jam, taking them to 172. You have to wonder if that was a bit of energy conservation. So London have another game today. Bear City don't. They've already played. Mm-hmm. So they're just like, no, let's not tire out our jammers too early at this stage.
Because London is going to play Helsinki later today.
Yes.
It's going to be also a tough game.
Yes.
Und jetzt haben wir Oblivion Newton-John gegen Freudian Slit als JammerInnen und Oblivion Newton-John nimmt das Lead Jammer-Status. Es gab einen kleinen Moment, wo gab kleine Unsicherheiten und das hat Freudian Slit erlaubt, das zu nutzen und vorne zu gehen und dann die BlockerInnen zu überholen. Und es gibt ein Penalty für Oblivion Newton-John, das heißt, wir sind gerade im Power Jam für Bear City. Und 4 Punkte sehr, sehr schnell gesammelt. Ein kleiner Hop, kleiner Sprung auf dem Inside. Und Freudenslit kommt wieder für den dritten Scoring Pass und wir dann versuchen bis 12 Punkte zu sammeln. Mal sehen, ob das funktioniert. Oblivion Newton-John kommt wieder auf dem Track aus dem Penalty Box raus und wir dann versuchen auch Punkte zu sammeln. Und ich glaube aber, dass Oblivion Newton-John hat noch keinen Initial Pass geschafft, weil wenn Referees dem Hand immer noch oh doch, es gab doch 4 Punkte. Das war der erste Scoring Pass. Genau. Und Freudenslitz ist immer noch jetzt im Pack für dieses dritte Scoring Pass. Und wir werden schauen, wie das jetzt weitergeht. Und es sind wieder 4 Punkte gesammelt. Sehr schöne kleine Dreh auf einen Fuß. Auf dem Inside der Track.
So Bear City picking up 12 points in that last jam because London Oblivion Newton-John had a penalty, so that was a power jam for some of that time, but they still picked up 8 points, so that takes them to 180. Bear City now on 68. 24 minutes left in this game. So on the jam line we have Delta Strike up against Scaratina. Delta Strike finds a gap on the inside and skates around their own blockers to pick up lead. Scaratina having a tougher time, so there's a wall up front. It's Ramit, Party Pants Just having a look at the blocking numbers, and Texas Heat holding up front. Scaratina still having to work, but Delta Strike skates around the outside to pick up 4 points from that scoring pass. Party Pants is unfortunately on the way to the box, and that was a multiplayer for them. Delta Strike now in the pack on second scoring pass. Scaratina still not out on their initial, but that jam comes to an end.
Und es wurden 4 Punkte, also 8 Punkte für London gesammelt und keine Punkte für Bear City auf dieser letzten Jam. Wir gehen jetzt in Jam Nummer 6 und wir sehen, dass es sitzt immer noch ein Blocker von London in der Penalty Box, und zwar Hump Me für dieses Multiplayer-Block, die sie bekommen hat auf dem letzten Jam. Und Ellis hat gerade Lead Jammer Status bekommen. Währenddessen ist Maya Mangelyu im Pack und versucht dann den Initial Pass zu schaffen. Und es gehen viele Menschen aus dem Track raus. Und Maya Mangelyu hat jetzt den Initial Pass fertig und wird dann versuchen, also kann leider nicht versuchen, Punkte zu sammeln, da die German Person für London gecallt hat. Und es sind 7 Punkte für London auf dieser Jam und keins für Bear City.
So 7 points for London in that last jam takes them to 195. Bear City not picking anything, but forcing that call off. So on the jam line now, we have a lot of people. No, we have Sable and we have blocked Herta. Sable finds that gap on the outside. The blocking offense from the line is exceptional from London. It frees up their jammers. Bear City not really formed up to meet Sable, but still managed to hold them back. However, there's been a star pass by Bear City to Bonesi, who is now the jammer, facing Ramit, Madge and Party Pants on the track. Sable skating round the outside of the Bear City wall to complete that scoring pass. So Sable now on third scoring pass. Bonesi is now still on their initial, but pushes through the strength of those blocks. But Ramit up front downs Bonesi, but Bonesi got back up, and so London were like, nope, we're bringing this to an end. So that is 12 points for London on that last jam, taking them over 200 points, 207 playing 68, and we have just over 20 minutes left in this game.
Und auf dem Jammerline stehen aktuell Wolf für London Roller Derby und für Bear City ist es Ruthless. Und Wolf is pushing, but the blockers are really not giving anything up. It's a lead jammer status für Wolf. Und Ruthless hat gerade Haube rausgezogen und Star Pass ist gerade erledigt. Es wurde aber gecallt, also wieder 4 Punkte für London Roller Derby, keine Punkte für Bear City Roller Derby.
So 4 points from London in that last jam. And I think, in this second half, London have really, I think they've adjusted to Bear City's blocking. I mean, Bear City is still doing an incredible job, but I think the jammers have adjusted. And there is a timeout called by Bear City. So while we're in that timeout, it's a chance to remind you that this is a free live stream provided by Derby Livestream over the weekend. If you are in a position to donate, please do so to help us cover the cost of this stream, and the link is on the West Track Story event Facebook page. If you can't donate, and we completely understand at this time and age, just clicking like or subscribe makes a difference to us in terms of our reputation and profile as a channel with YouTube, and that doesn't cost you anything, so please click like or subscribe. Like and subscribe, do both. And like this, because this is the top level roller derby in Europe being streamed into your house for free, and we've had some incredible games. And even though the scores, in this game, there's a very big points differential, you look at how Bear City have been changing their game and what they're doing with the blocking, or how they started locking down Delta Strike. Still so much excitement and to learn from each of these games. So
19 minutes left on the clock.
Yes, so we're just waiting for the start of the next jam after that timeout. So I think Bear City, after the last few jams where London had really got it locked down, I think it's a good time to do a timeout. Try and come up with a bit of a new strategy and a plan. So we're underway.
We're in English, I think, on this one.
Ah, thank you. So Delta Strike on the jam line with Miss Gender for Bear City. Delta Strike pushing out up front, Miss Gender pushing at the back, and it's Bear City working together, push Delta Strike into the inside on their toe stops. Miss Gender trying to blast through the back, but you've got Texas Heat, you've got Party Pants, you've got Tough Wall. Offense going in, still not able to free up Miss Gender yet, and Delta Strike is hit out and recycled. Both jammers recycled. We're still only on turn one, and Delta Strike has got out, but that took 45 seconds. Normally it takes about 5. So great work from Bear City.
Defense, of course.
Yes, however, Bear City now with one blocker in the box for a forearms penalty. And Miss Gender having got out, that forces that jam to come to an end, and so that is, I'm just looking at the points, there's some points for London, 2 points for London in that jam, but that was a long jam for only 2 points compared to the rest of the game.
What brings us currently to 213 points for London Roller Derby, to 68 for Bear City Roller Derby. Und wir sehen jetzt 3 BlockerInnen für Bear City auf dem Track, 4 für London. Und es wird vorne gekämpft. Oblivion Newton-John versucht und kriegt den Lead-Jammer-Status. Gleichzeitig kommt die Nummer 666 aus Bear City, Hannah Satana, Captain auf dieses Team, auf dem Track wieder und versucht Offense zu machen. Und Freudian Slit versucht immer noch den Initial Pass zu schaffen. Und es wurde gecallt. Und keine Punkte für Berlin, also Bear City Roller Derby. Und 4 Punkte für London Roller Derby.
So 4 points for London in that last jam. Bear City, forcing the call off. So we have 16 minutes left in this game. So we also have 2 Bear City blockers in the penalty box. So it is London with the pack advantage. Sable pushing out against just that final blocker. So Bonesi not able to hold back Sable any longer, not without colleagues. And we have Scaratina, who is jamming for Bear City, who is stuck up the front, trying to, again, this walls from London are so solid. Sable brushing off hits from Bear City, gets through, completes the first scoring pass. And there's been, and I think Scaratina is trying to pass the start, but London are making it incredibly difficult for them to reach their pivot.
And it's a power jam currently because the jammer for London was sent in the penalty box.
For what looks like a high block, if I remember my letters. So Scaratina doesn't pass the start, gets out, is now on their first scoring pass, and that offense comes in and blew that wall apart. But Party Pants is one of the fastest skaters in terms of just like transitioning, turning, changing, and being where they want to be. That was able to get out in front. Scaratina now back, second scoring pass, but Sable is out of the penalty box and back on track. They are on their second scoring pass. So both the jammers in the same place, but Sable manages to get through the outside of that pack. But we have two blockers from London in the penalty box, so this is now a pack advantage for Bear City, and it is a full 2-minute jam because of that penalty to Sable. So we are coming to the end of that.
But that's a good thing for Berlin because generally London calls the jams very quickly, and because of this penalty and then a 2-minute jam, it allows Berlin to score more points on this, Bear City, the jammer, to score more points on this last jam.
So it's 11 points to London and 8 points to Bear City in that last jam, taking them to 228 to 76.
Und ich glaube, dass Maya Mangelju ist wieder auf der Track als Jammer für Bear City und Illis ist für London auf dem Track als Jammerin. Und ein Lead für Bear City. Alice ist immer noch im Pack und versucht zu pushen. Es gibt sehr schöne Brücke und es gab dann ein paar Penalties für Berlin, also eigentlich 2 Penalties. Genau, für Gigi und Mia Missel, die beide in der Penalty Box sitzen oder jeweils stehen. Und Gigi ist jetzt raus aus der Penalty Box und kommt wieder ins Pack, ins Track. Und Maya Mangelju war auch in der Penalty Box ganz kurz. Das heißt, wir werden auch wieder einen 2-minütigen Jam haben. Und es gibt wieder viele Penalties und dieses Jam hier. Und die Jammerin ist wieder in der Penalty Box geschickt. Und sollte theoretisch raus, ganz auf der letzten Sekunde dieses Jam. Theoretisch, wenn ich das gut gesehen habe auf dem Uhr. Und Illis darf dann fahren und mehr Punkte sammeln. Wir sehen, dass Gigi versucht zu recyceln, aber die Nummer 237 Kameratatak sieht das nicht so. Und wie gesagt, Maya Mangelju ist auf der letzten Sekunde aus dem Penalty Box rausgekommen, was auch gut ist für das Team Bear City Roller Derby, weil es wird dann kein Powerstart sein.
So that's 18 points for London in that last jam and 3 for Bear City. I'm just having a look at the penalty box and that looks empty.
Yep.
So it is Delta Strike on the jam line up against Blocked Hertha. Delta Strike out up front and some incredible whole body blocking, but no, that's a forearms penalty for Bonazzi. And Delta Strike is out lead jammer. And we have Blocked Hertha still in the pack. Hit out to the inside while Delta Strike has the outside cleared for them by Madge. And calls the jam, gets the 4 points, calls the jam. And so we have almost 11 minutes left in this game, and it is 250 points to London, 79 to Bear City.
You can take guesses. What do you think will be the final score? And the person who gets the closest will get an applause.
I think that London will be looking to really try and stretch this differential out in the last 10 minutes, because that's what matters with rankings. It's not just the win, it's how much you win by. So
Und ja, genau, also Wolf ist aus dem Pack rausgegangen und hat Lead bekommen, ziemlich schnell. Und Ruthless versucht auch den Initial Pass zu schaffen. Hat es noch nicht geschafft. Deswegen geht Wolf weiter auf dem Track und versucht einfach Runde zu drehen. Also ist einfach ganz schnell auf dem Track unterwegs und sammelt noch 4 Punkte. Das sind jetzt 8. Wir dann in der dritte Scoring Pass reinkommen. Inzwischen versuchen die SpielerInnen aus Bear City einen Star Pass zu machen. Und wieder 4 Punkte für Wolf. Und ich habe gerade gesehen, jemand wurde in der Penalty Box gesendet. Genau, die Jammerin für Bear City sitzt gerade in der Penalty Box. Das heißt, wir werden mit einem Power Start den nächsten Jam starten. Und in dieser Jam wurden 12 Punkte für London, 14 Punkte für London gescored, keins für Berlin. Und es wurde ein Team-Timeout für Berlin gerufen, also auch von der Bench aus Bear City.
So Bear City have called a team timeout. So it's a chance for us to have a quick look at that points per jam, and that tells the story, doesn't it? Who's in charge on this?
And you can see that London is scoring on every jam since the beginning of the game.
Yes, very much in control. But where Bear City have had control, they have made the most of it, trying to get multiple scoring passes.
Yeah, when Bear City scores points, they score more points.
So, Hump Me or Party Pants, so 2 skate names, same person, at 5 penalties, has been picking up quite a lot of penalties during the weekend. But, Bear City, so you got Hannah Santana on 6, Rookie Horror and Bonesi on 5. I mean, still with 10 minutes, that's going to reduce how much you can play. And Bonesi in particular, as a pivot and a blocker, is very central to their lineups. So, on the jam line, we have Sable against Ruthless. But Ruthless is in the penalty box. This is a power start to London. Sable is out. Even with a full Bear City wall of 4 skaters. They're lining up because Sable is coming through for first scoring pass. And Ruthless is also back on track. And the remaining London blocker. So some offense going in to try and get Sable out. Ruthless pushing at the back. But it's Bonesi again who hits out Sable. And trying for that push out on the side, but Sable's just too strong and gets through to complete that 4-point pass. Ruthless is now being recycled all the way back to the jam line by Party Pants. Just in awe of Party Pants' recycling, how quick they recycle. Star pass by Bear City, which forces the call off. See again, Bonesi, so somebody who's in sort of penalty trouble, who's essential to the Bear City lineup as Bonesi, then you're going to run into problems. Possibly.
Could happen.
Could happen. So 6 points for London in that jam takes them to 270, 79 for Bear City. So I think both teams would like to reach the next round number, I think is my guess.
It might be the goal, yeah.
So official time out. I think just checking on the paperwork or just checking the penalties. We want to. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not what I thought it was. I was wondering if it was an extra penalty from Bear City. But no.
Apparently not.
No.
Und jetzt sind auf der Jammerline für London Oblivion Newton-John und für Bear City Freudian Slit. Freudian Slit ist in der Penalty Box geschickt worden wegen Vorarm und Olivia Newton-John hat Lit bekommen. Ein bisschen Joking hier. Und es wurde gecallt und 3 Punkte gesammelt für London. Und ich glaube, London versucht jetzt immer, wenn eine Jammer in der Box ist, sehr schnell zu callen, um das zu erlauben, einen Power Start zu bekommen.
So 3 points for London in that last jam. And it will be another power start to London as Bear City's jammer is in the penalty box. Delta strike on the jam line for London. And that
Very
offense
quick.
on the outside lets Delta strike through from Ramit. So Delta strike speeding round and approaching for second scoring pass. And again, it's just beautifully timed offense, breaking up that Bear City wall and letting Delta strike through. 4 points for London. But Freudian Slit is now back on track for Bear City jamming. Delta Strike is pushing out and completes a second scoring pass. Freudian Slit is at the back of the pack and is potentially looking for the star pass. Delta Strike also in the pack, and it is tight defense going between all of these jammers. Delta Strike takes a big sprawl and decides, I'm going to conserve the energy. I've scored points. I'm going to call the jam. So that is 9 points for London, taking them to 282. Bear City now on 79. 5.5 minutes left.
Es gibt dann die Möglichkeit noch für beide Teams zu den nächsten Runde Punkte zu kommen. Also vielleicht 300 für London und vielleicht 100 für Bear City. Mal sehen. Gerade sind Ellis gegen Maya Mangalju als JammerInnen auf dem Track. Und beide kämpfen ganz, ganz dolle im Tripod, um einen Lead-Status zu bekommen. Und eine sehr, sehr schöne Hit von Gigi hier, die recycelt. Und es gab einen illegalen Kontakt, ein doppelter Penalty für Ellis, also Backblock, und es wurde doppelt gerufen. Das heißt, Ellis wird dann eine ganze Minute in der Penalty-Box sitzen. Wir haben dann einen Power-Jump für Bear City und gerade ist das Pack richtig fest und schwierig für die JammerInnen durchzugehen. Und es wurde ein Cut für das Pivot von London gecallt. Wir sehen, dass das Pack bewegt sich sehr wenig und Maya Mangalju kriegt den Lead-Jammer-Status nach einer ganzen Minute und wir dann versuchen jetzt Punkte zu sammeln. Es sind 4 BlockerInnen für Berlin, für Bear City auf dem Track, 2 für London und ein sehr schöner Durchgang für Maya Mangalju jetzt, die gerade 4 Punkte für Bear City gesammelt hat. Inzwischen ist Alice wieder auf dem Track gekommen und hat 20 Sekunden, um wieder weitere Punkte zu sammeln. Also erstes Scoring-Pass und ganz smooth auf den Outside-Line. Und Maya Mangalju ist auch smooth auf der Outside-Line gegangen und sammelt 3 Punkte und callt den Jam. Wir sind dann mit 4 Punkten in das Jam für London zum 286 Punkte gekommen und mit 11 Punkten hat Bear City Roller Derby 90 Punkte erreicht.
So 11 points for Bear City in that last jam with a 1-minute jammer penalty for London Roller Derby, who picked up 4 points in that jam. We have Sable on the jam line against Miss Gender, and we have all blockers on the track, full pack, and Miss Gender out for lead first for Bear City. They really want to get to 3 figures by the end of this game. And Sable has been sent to the penalty box, so it is now a power jam to Bear City, and they have lead. But I think that's Madge that's been doing some incredible one-on-one blocking to hold back Miss Gender. Miss Gender sees that Sable is standing, decides that Bear City want the power start, but did pick up 2 points, taking them to 92, 286 for London.
Und genau, also Bear City nimmt jetzt die Strategie von London für sich selbst und callt, während der Jammer von London in der Penalty-Box immer noch ist. Das erlaubt dann das Team mit einem Power-Start zu starten und vielleicht wird es einen Vorteil geben an das Team, um schneller das Lid zu bekommen oder einfach das Lid zu bekommen. Aber jetzt ist die Jammerin von London wieder auf dem Track und wir wissen gerade nicht, wer den Lid-Status bekommen wird. Und es ist für Sable. Hier ist Ruthless auf dem Track und versucht den Initial Pass zu erledigen und schafft das mit sehr schönen Stopper-Sprünge auf der Inside Line. Es wurde gerufen, das heißt keine Punkte für Bear City auf dieser Jam und 3 für London Roller Derby. Wir haben nur noch 45 Sekunden auf dem Uhr. Vielleicht ein letzter Jam, vielleicht 2. Mal sehen. Wird Bear City 100 Punkte erreichen? Wird London 300 Punkte erreichen? Das werden wir gleich sehen.
So on the jam line, Delta Strike up against Scaratina, as we've seen a number of times during this game. And we have a blocker from each in the box, but we also have Delta Strike going in for a back block. Scaratina is out, lead jammer for Bear City, and there is a lot of noise in the room. Scaratina facing Madge, Ramit, Party Pants and Valks. That is not a lineup I would want to be jamming against. But manages to get through again. Positional blocking from Bear City left the front of the pack open. Scaratina completes initial scoring pass. There's a lot of love in the room for Bear City, so you can hopefully hear the crowd giving them everything.
Lots of cheering here.
Lots of cheering. Both teams are lined up by the track because this has been such a passionate tournament and teams wanting this so much. But we have Delta Strike back on track, getting through their initial pass. But London applauding Bear City for that final jam, which is just what roller derby is about. So picking up 4 points, the unofficial final score 96 points to Bear City, 289 to London. And I do think the people cheering loudest for Bear City in the last jam were actually London.
So hi, I'm comic drop today, not comic sand. Yeah. This is and you are?
I'm Strapping Young Beard.
So Beard has been one of the crew head referees for this tournament, and he's coming from the UK. So I wanted to ask you, because you already have an experience as a crew head ref. Well, you've a little bit in the past, like 1 or 2 games. Sorry.
Underestimating me. No, it's fine, thank you.
No, I just wanted to ask you, is there a difference between officiating in the UK and other countries in Europe?
Yeah, massively. In the UK, I think we're probably a little bit more strict, if I'm going to be honest. I think in Europe, we tend to be a bit more relaxed about things and kind of let game flow, for want of a better word. So, yeah, I'd say that's the biggest difference. And generally in the UK, I think, not to slate any of the officials, but I think we're a bit more standoffish and a bit more individual. But I think whenever I've officiated in Europe, we work more as a team, which is really nice, which is one of the reasons why I love coming to places like Nantes, which is, well, it's a beautiful city as well, but working with lots of amazing officials. Sorry, I'm looking over at what's going on behind me. Yeah, it's just great to work with amazing officials and, as I say, work well as a team. So.
And we like having you also. I wanted to ask you because the what we want to have here at Nantes Roller Derby is as much gender equality as possible, and also we want to make sure that female skaters, female referees, female NSOs, and non-binary people have more visibility. And how did you manage to take that into account when making the rosters for the crews?
Well, when Razor, the tournament head referee, asked VK and myself to form the crews, we were asked in particular to crew French officials because we wanted to grow them, which is why I've now got 4 French officials on my crew, and we were asked to pick a mixture of genders. So originally I did have 4 male officials and 4 non-male officials. Unfortunately, I had lost a couple of officials before the tournament started, so I had to pull some in last moment. So I've now got 3 non-male officials and 5 male officials, including myself, that is. So the balance isn't how I wanted it to be, but it was there initially to have at least 50-50. In an ideal world, that's what I would have. And as I say, in France, we want to grow French officials because we want to give people a chance. If you don't, they're not going to grow. When the old guard, as it were, steps down, there needs to be people there that can step up when we aren't there anymore. So, yeah.
Okay, so you're the old guard, duly noted.
Tell by the grey in my beard how old I am and stuff like that. It's like the years are piling on now.
Yeah, you're barely 25. Thank you for this interview, and have a nice game afterward.
Thank you very much. Take care.